Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. Triple H is the creative leader of WWE's new era. However, a wrestling veteran believes Endeavor will eventually get rid of the game. After having worked in multiple positions in the Stamford-based company, Triple H was appointed Chief Content Officer nearly 2 years ago upon Vince McMahon's initial retirement. With the former chairman gone, seemingly for good, earlier this year, the game is now the sole leader of the creative process in WWE. At WrestleMania XL, the 14-time world champion's wife, Stephanie McMahon, even welcomed fans to the Paul Levesque era. However, wrestling veteran Ben Heyman believes Endeavor would eventually replace Triple H and other top WWE executives, including Nick Khan, with somebody from their company. He claimed on his The Friday Locker Room podcast that someone from Endeavor is probably shadowing the game and his associates to learn the tricks of the trade before the company pushes them out. I'm surprised that Triple H is still running the show with Nick Khan and Deuce over there, to be honest with you. Because you can never really say it's an Endeavor product with those guys on the team. Do they have tons of decades of experience to captain it? Yeah. But right now, somebody from Endeavor is probably shadowing them so they can learn it all and then they'll push them out eventually too, he said. Ben Heyman pointed out that Triple H and the other mentioned executives' presence is currently essential to keep the locker room in check. Nevertheless, he disclosed that he believes Endeavor has let several top backstage names go as part of a plan to slowly edge off all the WWE stuff. It's just those guys are too essential in the politics of keeping the locker room in check. You know, the years of experience in ring and producing TV, but Kevin Dunn's gone. His team's been chopped down. The set designer people are leaving. VPs are leaving. These are big moves to slowly edge off all the WWE stuff and make it and then truly an Endeavor product, which I think is going to be much more like Ice Capita and Disney on Ice or whatever than anything else. 22-18 to 23-23. Ex-WWE employee thinks Bruce Pritchard could replace Triple H. On an episode of the Behind the Turnbuckle podcast, former WWE employee Tommy Carlucci and his co-host, former interim Raw general manager Jonathan Coachman, discussed potential replacements for Triple H if TKO decided to let him go. Carlucci, who spent over 30 years in the Stamford-based company, predicted that Bruce Pritchard would be the game's successor. I would say Bruce Pritchard. Now, if you're talking about a TKO guy, I don't know. I would think Bruce, because Bruce had TV production behind him. He knows all the boys, he negotiates contracts, I'm sure. I think he's probably Triple H's right-hand man. If Triple H stepped down, no doubt in my mind Nick Khan would appoint Bruce Pritchard, he said. Carlucci and Coachman also suggested other potential successors, including Shawn Michaels and Paul Heyman. In what could be a major turning point for WWE, it seems that Endeavor, the company behind WWE's merger with UFC, might have just taken a significant step toward ending the illustrious career of Triple H. As the news ripples through the wrestling world, veterans are beginning to chime in on what this means for the man once known as the game and the WWE itself. One voice, in particular, has raised eyebrows, stating that this move by Endeavor might have set Triple H on the path to retirement, either willingly or by force. This revelation has left fans and insiders wondering about the future of WWE's creative direction and the lasting legacy of Triple H and the company he helped shape for decades. Levesque's creative mind earned him the role of Executive Vice President of Global Talent Strategy and Development, and eventually, he became the head of creative after Vince McMahon's temporary retirement. This transition marked a new era for WWE, where storylines became more cohesive, matches had deeper meaning, and fan interest surged. But in the wake of the WWE-UFC merger, spearheaded by Endeavor, it seems that the very fabric of WWE's leadership structure is about to change, and Triple H may be the first to feel its effects. The influence of Endeavor. Endeavor's involvement in WWE has been a double-edged sword. On one hand, the merger has brought WWE into the fold of a powerful entertainment conglomerate, allowing for greater financial security and cross-promotion with UFC. On the other hand, there have been growing concerns that the new corporate structure will prioritize profit margins over creative freedom, something Triple H has been fiercely protective of. With Vince McMahon returning as executive chairman following his controversial comeback, the balance of power in WWE has shifted once again. Though Triple H maintained control over WWE's creative direction for a time, insiders have speculated that his authority has been gradually undermined by Vince's return. Now, with Endeavor stepping in more forcefully, the corporate machine might be looking for ways to streamline operations and reduce the influence of legacy figures like Triple H. The veterans' take. One veteran in particular has shed light on the recent moves by Endeavor, suggesting that these changes signal the beginning of the end for Triple H's career. Speaking on a wrestling podcast, this veteran, who has worked closely with both Triple H and Vince McMahon in the past, hinted that Endeavor may be looking to fully reintegrate Vince McMahon into the creative process, relegating Triple H to a secondary role or even pushing him out entirely. Endeavor is a business-first company, the veteran said. They respect what Triple H has done, but they don't have the same emotional ties to him that Vince McMahon does. To them, WWE is a product, and they'll make decisions based on what's best for the bottom line, not necessarily what's best for the talent or the creative direction. He continued, with Vince back in charge and the structure changing, I think this is Endeavor's way of phasing Triple H out. I wouldn't be surprised if within the next year or two, we see Triple H take a step back either by choice or because he's forced out. The veteran's comments have sent shockwaves through the wrestling world, igniting discussions among fans and analysts alike. Could it be true that the end of Triple H's WWE career is on the horizon? If so, what would that mean for the future of the company? The impact on WWE's creative direction. One of the biggest questions looming over this potential shakeup is how WWE's creative direction will change without Triple H at the helm. For years, Levesque has been praised for his long-term storytelling, his emphasis on in-ring work, and his ability to elevate underutilized talent. With Endeavor seemingly favoring a more corporate, numbers-driven approach, many fear that WWE could return to the days of short-term booking and more reliance on spectacle over substance. If Triple H is gone, you can bet the product will look different, said another industry insider. He's been the steady hand behind the wheel for the past few years, and without him, there's no telling where Vince or Endeavor will take things. This insider went on to speculate that WWE could start to resemble UFC more closely, with less emphasis on larger-than-life characters and storylines.